welcome back everyone for some more Apollo Justice. Ace Attorney here on the Nintendo Switch. And we are ready to begin day 2 in the trial in the case against Vera Misham. Now the last 4 episodes saw us use the Mason system where we looked at events from the past, as well as events in the present, and we were able to uncover clues to exactly what the mystery was behind Troop Gramarye, and we got to find out more about who the forger of that notebook page really was, and who the mastermind is behind all of this, and we are going to be seeing everything unfold in this episode and the next episode, which the next episode will be the final episode, not only in this case, but in the first Apollo Justice game. So hope you guys looking forward to today's episode and the next one. But before we get into things here with the second day of the trial, hope you guys have an awesome day today. Hope you guys doing well. So without further ado, welcome to court. 7 years, all leading to one verdict. A verdict which you must decide. Is defendant Vera Misham innocent or guilty? The courtroom doors are opening. The trial awaits. Are you ready to begin? Preparations complete. And yes, we did have to hit that. Something inside me, rising, surfacing. Something important, lost long ago. It's close now, so close. October 9th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Vera Misham. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready to rock. Prosecutor Gavin, how is defendant Vera Misham's condition? Acute antiquinine poisoning. According to her physician, she could die at any time. Thus, her absence from the courtroom today. What? They can't put her on trial without her being here. It is unusual. They should wait for her to get better and do it then. It's so bureaucratic of them. That's being a little harsh. They can't delay the trial any longer, or they risk having no one left to try. A trial without a verdict can only cause grief. The records of this case and experience tell us this. Apologies to the defendant, but the show must go on. Right, if Vera dies, the trial will be cancelled. I'm not gonna let that happen. Mr. Ray told me everything that's been going on behind the curtain all these years. I'm going to get Vera her innocent verdict while there's still time. Very well, your opening statement, Prosecutor Gavin. The prosecution's case is unchanged by recent events. Why did Vera Misham succumb to poison? Because she couldn't live with the guilt of what she'd done. Objection! But Vera was poisoned with antiquinine, the exact same poison that took her father's life. What better confession could you ask for? Being the killer, she would have had access to the poison. Significant, since it's rather hard to come by. That is true. In other words, I see no need for further discussion. We could have had our verdict. We could have had our verdict yesterday. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no objections, I see no reason to postpone a verdict. What we need to worry about isn't the verdict, but the trial itself. The defense holds that Vera Misham is the victim, not the killer. If that's so, then you have to prove something. She was in court, giving a testimony before us. How do you propose that her killer poisoned her? Oh, and incidentally, it would be nice if you told us who her mystery killer was. Oh, I think we can do this. The prosecution's objection is sustained. I asked the defense to prove its claims to its court. Tell us how Vera Misham was poisoned. I've got 2 things to prove here. Who did it, and how. Which to hit first? Well, I'm gonna show how. How did the killer poison Vera Misham? I will focus first on the method used. Any comments before we begin, Prosecutor Gavin? Not a bottle or container of the poison was found in the defendant's body. I see, so the vector of poisoning is unknown. Is the defense prepared to prove how the poison reached Vera Misham? Yes, Your Honor. Very well. What method was used to poison Vera Misham? Well, it was this. What's this? My, what a beautiful bottle. I'd like to give whoever designed that a hand. Is that nail polish? It's colorless. Ah! Something the matter? No, nothing. Nothing at all. So the killer put poison in this bottle and made her drink it? As Prosecutor Gavin has told us, this is nail polish. Nail polish? It's like paint for nails. Know any women with red nails? Ah, my wife has red nails. I see. So she's been painting them all this time. Let's recall yesterday's trial. Remember when Vera was testifying to the court? Court is now back in session. Vera seems pretty tense. She's practically chewing her fingernails clean off. Whenever Vera became nervous, she had a habit of biting her nails. Her nails? Ah! Prosecutor Gavin? When the prosecutor had Vera examined, did they check her nails? Bailiff, have them check the defendant's nails at once. Mr. Justice. Yes? Do you know who did this? Do you know who put poison in that nail polish? Yes. That bottle belongs to Vera Misham? Why do you ask? Know someone else who might have a bottle like this? No, just checking. Oh, I believe you do. Mr. Justice, you were about to accuse someone of poisoning that bottle of nail polish. Please dispense with the chatter. Do you realize the weight of this accusation? Here, let me show you. Understood, Your Honor. No problem. I know what I'm doing this time. Then let us ask, who poisoned Vera Misham by her nail polish? Well, it's none other than Clavia's brother, Christoph. Well, what's this? Christoph Gavin?
Objection!
What's your game? My bro? There's no way you could do a thing like that. You should know that better than anyone else. Indeed. He is behind bars. I know. However, that doesn't mean it was impossible to do what he did. What? Ask yourselves when he put the poison in the bottle. It could have been yesterday, could have been a month ago, maybe it was a year ago, or perhaps it was 7 years ago. But Christoph Gavin had no motive for killing this poor girl. It's simply inconceivable. Prosecutor Gavin doesn't seem to think so. That face tells me one thing. Christoph Gavin's own younger brother doesn't find it inconceivable at all. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, if you feel there is a clear and pressing need, then we may have to summon Christoph Gavin from jail as a special witness. Fine. I've known for some time that an impenetrable darkness lurked at the bottom of this. A darkness that has swallowed even myself. Okay, the defense's wish is granted. Let prisoner Christoph Gavin take the stand. Bailiff, begin proceedings to call a special witness. The witness is Christoph Gavin, currently residing in solitary cell 13 at Central Prison. Ah, Your Honor, how nice to see you again. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? It's not every day I'm summoned from my solitary cell. In fact, it's never. I think you already know, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Ah, Mr. Justice. I hear you've been doing quite well for yourself. Ah, why do I feel like somehow he's still my boss? Stiff upper lip, Apollo. You can do it. Does this bottle look familiar? Ariadone nail polish? Why yes, I use it myself. As the late defendant, I hear. She's not dead yet. And? Was there something concerning this bottle you wish to ask me about? I admit I respect her for her taste in nail polish. Her taste, indeed. This nail polish was how Vera Misham was poisoned. Atraquinine, was it? You're well informed about the case, Mr. Gavin. Even in solitary, much comes to my desk, and I have nothing to do but read. Well, Clavier? He still looks nervous as hell. Maybe you can explain this? You're being accused again. By him. Again. Ah. And you agree with his accusation, do you? Let's hold a proper trial, shall we? Christoph Gavin, your testimony, please. I'd be delighted. The charges against you are quite severe, Mr. Gavin. You are suspected of the poisoning of the defendant, Vera Misham. Please testify in this matter to the court. Witness testimony. Poisoning Vera. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. I have been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could I poison her? Her father died with the same poison, the meaning of which should be clear. The prosecution's case holds. She poisoned her father, then attempted to poison herself. Surely you weren't going to suggest I was responsible for poisoning her father, too. Well, I'm afraid the defense's claim is sounding rather unlikely. Naturally. For one, I don't even know the Mishams. Isn't that so, Mr. Justice? Very well, Mr. Justice. Begin your cross-examination. Okay. I'm accusing Christoph Gavin, my ex-boss. But I know he poisoned the Mishams. The question is, when could he have done it? Not to mention, why? Cross-examination. Poisoning Vera. Owning the same nail polish does not a murderer make. Been in solitary confinement for half a year. How could he poison her? Father died of the same poison, which should make the meaning clear. Prosecution states she would poison her father and attempt to poison herself. Sure you aren't going to suggest I was supposed to poison her father too? Yes, I am. Okay, it's right here. There!
Gotcha!
It was you who killed Drew Misham. A bluff worthy of your new mentor, Mr. Ray. Oh, really? But you see, I saw it. Right when you said her father, too. Your hand tensed unnaturally, and a little devil appeared to give me the news. And let's assume for the sake of argument that you saw me being tense. What does that mean? Are all tense witnesses guilty? And tell me, was Drew Misham fond of nail polish too? Sorry, but there's more than one way to poison a man. You don't need nail polish to get to someone's mouth. Ah. Then I must be very talented indeed. You see, Drew Misham was killed on October 6th, while I was already in my solitary confinement cell at Central Prison. If that's not an alibi, then I don't know what is. But you found a way, all the same. And I found it, too. This is how you poisoned Mr. Misham. Well, it happens to be one of Vera's prized possessions, if not her prized possession, the commemorative stamp. I'm sure this commemorative stamp requires no introduction. The night Mr. Misham died, he was seen writing a letter. After quinine was found on the stamp, Mr. Gavin. So am I to understand the stamp was the murder weapon? Yes, you are. Oh, and yes, this stamp was found in your prison cell. That is all, Your Honor. Order! Poison on the back of that stamp? After Drew Misham was killed, someone paid a visit to his witness's cell. Phoenix Ray. Daddy? That's when he found the stamp. You made Drew Misham write you a letter. That's how you killed him. What? My. You've upset my poor brother to the point of uselessness. Allow me to clarify this matter, Justice. All you need to do is recall witness Bressel's testimony. Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope, Mr. Misham sat there searching his desk drawer for something. His desk drawer? Yes, a stamp. A so-called postage stamp, end quote. He was looking for a stamp. Ergo, he had no intention of using this stamp. What are you getting at? What I'm arriving at is that this commemorative stamp was in a frame. It was a mere coincidence that he used it that night. That would seem to be the case. Or perhaps you mean to suggest that I can somehow manipulate coincidence? He does have a point. How would this witness know if the victim was going to use that stamp? Without that, he couldn't have planned a murder. What? Really, Clavier? You should be seeing through these weak-spined bluffs by now. He's right, though. How could anyone have known Mr. Mission would use that stamp that night? Least of all, Christoph Gavin locked away in his cell. Well, it seems the defense has run out of things to say. Or do we? You assume he had something to say in the first place. I believe the defense's bluff has been called. The defense's bluff? I'm not sure I agree with you there, Christoph. Clavier? Honestly, I wanted to believe you. But the defense wasn't trying to get away with a bluff. You were, Christoph. Well, what are you saying, Prosecutor Gavin? Forehead. What was your accusation again? Huh? Oh, it was that this poison stamp killed Drew Misham, yeah? To which my brother responded thusly, there was no way to know when Misham would use the stamp. Yes, that's right, which is why it couldn't have been planned. Tell me, it needs to be planned. Why? Why couldn't it have been a coincidence? The defense's case is simply that Drew Misham died by the stamp. That's all. Coincidence. Christoph, you tried to slip out from under this accusation by changing the subject. If that's not bluffing, what is it? What are you up to, Clavier? I could ask you the same question, Christoph. I silenced the defense with the fewest words possible. It's called efficiency. But Mr. Gavin, that's an impermissible testimony. Very well, I shall take his claim head on then. Justice? Well, what? You accuse me of Drew Misham's murder, yes? Then, allow me to ask you, what possible reason could I have to kill a painter? Apollo, motive. He's talking about a motive. Indeed. It's hard to see how an attorney could come to want to kill a painter. Now here's something. Why didn't he bring up the motive from the very beginning? Unless he was afraid it was a battle he might lose. So, what does it mean? It means there might be a weak spot. Maybe I have some evidence to prove a motive. A motive for murder. This is a vital, if not the most vital element in this case. Please consider this when making your statement. I'd say it's about this vital. That's pretty vital. Well, Mr. Justice, we're gonna go ahead and say once again. I'm going through with this no matter what. Understood, Your Honor. I'd like to present evidence. Then, let's see what you have for us. What reason did Christoph Gavin have for wanting to murder Drew Misham? Well, you could either show two things. You could either show the red envelope, or you could submit the notebook page, which I'm going to submit the notebook page. Christoph Gavin's motive becomes clear when we consider why the stamp came to Drew Misham's studio in the first place. And why was that? Forgery, Your Honor. Go back 7 years. Drew Misham accepts his first job creating forged evidence. I've seen that before. A page from a diary, wasn't it? McAfee Grammary's diary. Ah, when Attorney Phoenix Wright lost his badge, yes. This was the evidence he presented to his loss. This evidence is a fake, yes. But did Mr. Wright request a forgery be made? That was never proven.
Objection!
The defense attorney on that case was Phoenix Wright, who, other than him, drunk with the prospect of victory, could have done it. And why would they? Just out of curiosity, do you remember this letter? This is the first page. And this is the second. Those were presented in court yesterday. This letter was sent to Drew Misham by the client who was questioned at forgery. The enclosed stamp was none other than the poison commemorative stamp. Drew Misham drew his last breath just the other day. However, the motive for his murder was already 7 years old. 7 years old? The client who requested this forgery was very cautious. He tried to erase anything and anyone with connections to the forgery, to keep them from talking, but he made a mistake. The stamp was a picture of my favorite magicians, so I kept it. Father took me when I was very young. It was a great magic show. I loved it so much. The killer's time bomb was delayed. The poison stamp was sealed within the glass frame, where it sat for 7 whole years. Error forehead. Do you understand what you're telling us? The one who schemed up the forged diary page was the one who poisoned the stamp. And it was Phoenix Wright who presented the forged evidence 7 years ago. Adding the two statements together, the one who schemed to kill Drew Misham was none other than Phoenix Wright.
Objection!
Sorry, but that's not how this is gonna go down. Oh, then how will it go down? I checked through the records in that case, when I found this. 7 years ago, just before the trial began. Oh, old boy? Here. What's this? I don't know, I just got it over there in the hall. They told me to give it to the old boy in the blue suit with the spiky hair. And one more thing. I'm sorry to have sprung this on you so suddenly. I received the files from your previous attorney only yesterday. I understand that I'm asking the impossible of you. Yes, well, you haven't really told me what happened yet. All we did was play cards. And that was enough. Phoenix Wright was put on the case the day before the trial started. He didn't have time to request a forgery. The day before? Now here's a question. Just who was Shady Enigma's previous defense attorney? No, this can't all be. But it is all true. There was another man, a defense attorney with a badge on his collar. It was you, Christoph Gavin. Hey there, Sebastian. Order! 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 What is the meaning of this? Witness, defendant, former lawyer. Let me begin by denying this.
Objection!
It's easy enough to look up, Mr. Gavin. And impossible to prove if you can't. Attorneys are registered with the court the day before the trial begins. In other words, no record remains in the court. How exactly did you intend to prove Phoenix Wright's claim? That would be difficult. I'm afraid this line of inquiry won't yield.
Objection!
Air forehead. Are you sure you don't have evidence? What's wrong with Prosecutor Gavin? He looks clammy. Evidence. Evidence that shows this man, Christoph Gavin, requested that forgery 7 years ago. Clavier? Just prove it. Clear up these doubts now, or I swear I'm off this case. He must have thought of some evidence. Apollo. Prosecutor Gavin looks like he's in physical pain. That darkness. I have to pull that darkness out of him, and proof is the only way I can. What proves Christoph Gavin's link to Drew Misham? Well, Mr. Justice, we're gonna go ahead and save. You claim Christoph Gavin requested a forgery of Drew Misham 7 years ago. Prove it. It can be proven. Simply ridiculous. Why even discuss it? This evidence does not...
Objection!
Are you telling the truth, Apollo Justice? I am. Then I say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Very well, but if you're wrong about this, be prepared for a penalty.
Objection!
Your Honor, you do the defense an injustice. Mr. Justice is clearly passionate about his claim. Should the penalty not match his passion? Haven't given a penalty like that in a long time. Well, Mr. Justice? Fine, Your Honor. All I have to prove is any kind of link. Something that ties Christoph Gavin to Drew Mission. And I have something that clearly does the job. Very well, Mr. Justice, present the evidence. Show us the link between our witness and Drew Mission. And we are going to present the letter of mission. This evidence proves there's a link.
Objection!
That scrap of paper? I'm afraid I can't let you submit that. Is there some problem? There is. How could you possibly have that? You couldn't. Hey, that's Daddy's handwriting. Mr. Wright's handwriting? What is the meaning of this? Ah, I see now. Yes, of course. What do you mean, of course? I just remembered I had a visitor yesterday. Phoenix Wright came to my cell. Except I wasn't there. Phoenix Wright? When I returned, I saw he had something of mine in his possession. Of course, I had no intention of letting him get away with reading my private mail. Mail? You mean this letter was in your cell? No. However, it appears Mr. Wright has yet to be cured of his bad forging habit. Well, if it's a forgery, it's not a very good one. The handwriting's terrible. This is Mr. Wright's reproduction of what was written in the real letter. Reproduction? When Mr. Wright visited Christoph Gavin's cell, he brought with him a small video camera. What? He recorded his entire conversation with you, Mr. Gavin, and the contents of your personal mail. But regardless... Oh, he's starting to twitch. This mockery of a piece of evidence will never be accepted by the court. Evidence based on a video a man with no authority whatsoever claims he took. A man who happens to be an ex-attorney suspected of forgery. Prosecutor Gavin? Prosecutor Gavin? As embarrassing as this is for me to say, I'm afraid my brother is incapable of making rational judgment at the moment. Your Honor, your decision, please. The defense's claim is denied. What? Only actual evidence is permitted in the court of law. Please remove the defense's evidence from the record. Better luck next time, Justice. Well, we've certainly taken a detour from our cross-examination, but the defense appears to be lacking proof. I'm forced to end the cross-examination of Christoph Gavin at this point. Apollo, do something. I'm thinking, but without evidence, I don't have anything I can use on him. Very well, this ends the special witness's cross-examination.
Objection!
The show's over, yet the crowd screams for more. Only now do I understand why. Prosecutor Gavin? Frankly, I'm relieved. This has been bothering me for 7 whole years, and I'm tired of the whole youthful angst scene. Now's our chance. Let's clean out the family closet, eh, Christoph? Clavier, you're spinning out of control. Calm yourself before you say something you'll regret. Spinning out of whose control? Mine? Or yours? Take a moment to consider everything you've built. Your reputation as a prosecutor, your fame with the masses. You could lose it all, Clavier. Apollo, did you see that? He's trying to press Prosecutor Gavin. Prosecutor Gavin, try to remember what's really important to you. You amuse me, Forehead. I couldn't forget what's really important to me, even if I tried. In fact, I haven't. Not even once. 7 years ago. Finally. You just couldn't resist, could you? Right? Resist what? Presenting solid evidence? Might I request we put the current cross-examination on hold? The prosecution would like to call a new witness. State your name and occupation for the record. I'm familiar with the trial. I've watched the video several times. Didn't you find anything unnatural about it? Unnatural? Well, you did seem unusually well prepared. I mean, Mr. Wright had only just presented his evidence. And the next moment you call in Drew Mission. It was almost as if... What? Funny, it didn't even occur to me to wonder. But now that I do, I see there's only one possible explanation. Almost as if, from the very beginning, you knew Mr. Wright was going to present that evidence. Ah, correct. I knew that if I applied the usual pressure, Phoenix Wright would eventually come up with that forged diary page. Don't do this, Clavier. I knew because you told me, Kristoff. What? It was the night before the trial. Clavier. Kristoff? Odd seeing you at the prosecutor's office the day before a trial. Ah, I won't be appearing in the trial, actually. Huh? Why not? I won't be facing off with you on your first trial, apparently. But in exchange, I brought information. Information? That attorney who will be there in my place tomorrow is not to be trusted. Don't even give him the benefit of your respect. Listen, I want you to call in a special witness. Then... I wondered about it at the time. How did Kristoff know so much? Prosecutor Gavin. Kristoff, we were supposed to face each other in that trial. A fair fight, brother to brother. I deserve that much. You let me borrow the victim's belongings. You showed me all your research on the case. The victim's belongings? Which would have included McAfee's diary, wouldn't it? Mr. Gavin? My, Clavier, you disappoint me. You find trees, yet miss the forest. You're the one missing the forest, Mr. Gavin. You can't sweep this under the rug. Not anymore. Tell me what was going on behind that trial. Why not? And with that, we are going to go ahead and end this, and then next time I see you guys will be the final episode of this case and this first game of Apollo Justice, and we are going to learn exactly once and for all everything that transpired between 7 years ago and now, which we've already got a taste of it now, but we are going to go ahead and save that for the next episode. But thank you guys so much for watching this. Hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. I will see you guys again next time.